So, hello everyone. This is Aryan Barma. I'm a second year student of the IT branch and the Google Android Study Jam facilitator from BSc KGC. So, you'll be thinking, what's this Android Study Jams are all about? Okay.
So, Android Study Jams is a program by which a facilitator is chosen from each DSC, and it's their job to facilitate on how to build native Android apps using Kotlin, using the curriculum provided by Google itself. So, I will show you the tracks. So, in this program, there are two tracks. Number one is new to programming tracks, where I have something to say. This is my first webinar. If I'm going a little too slow or a little too fast, just let me know. Okay. So, is this right? Am I right? Am I speaking in the right speed?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, so in this study jams, there are two tracks. Number one is the new to programming track, where you will be just introduced to Kotlin. You will write small snippets of code in Kotlin, and you will be introduced to the Android Studio, where you will just learn how to place text and images on your app. Okay. So, and the next track is the prior experience track, in where you will make a loads of apps. In some apps, you will learn how to connect to the internet. In some apps, you will learn how to use databases like Room. So, so you, okay, someone is joining. So you will be thinking, what are the perks of this whole study jam thing? So number one is you will learn how to build native apps. Native Android app is using Kotlin. So Kotlin is a actually a little new language compared to Java, which was and is still used to make Android apps. But there are some upsides of using Kotlin instead of Java. Okay, I will discuss them later. No problem there. Number second, like there are two tracks, like I said. So if you complete the second track, you will get a certificate of completion from DSC KGC, signed by the DSC lead and me myself. So the first track is not even completed. This whole thing is in a beta phase. In the first track there are 2 units, but it is spectacular. There will be 5. So I can't give any certificate of completion for the first track, but if you complete the second track, you will get a certificate of completion. Number 3, as you complete the units and tracks, you will get virtual badges, which you can showcase in your Google developer profile, which I will introduce to you later. And number 4, if like at the end of this study jam, which is January 25, I will publish a form where you will fill up the Google developer profile and APK if you have made any app, and I will give them to the Google officials. So if they like, they will feature some of your apps on the Google social media handles. Oh, another thing about Android Studio is that it consumes a lot of RAM. So winter is, and it's what I can say, like it fits your system very much. So if winter is a very nice time to learn Android Studio. So so let's dive in first. So we will start with the Android Study Jam Season 1, which is the kickoff one. So acha, one more thing. So this whole track will help you gear for the Google Solution Challenge 21. So what's this challenge? So in this challenge, each DSC has to make some maps which will solve something out for their local area. Like in 2019, a guy from South Africa, what he did was when he went to his local pet adoptions and shelters, ask their numbers, and build an app by which someone can see the can see the dogs and cats which are abandoned, and can call them and adopt them. So it was chosen as a winner, one of the winner in 2019 Study Jams Solutions Challenge. So for this jam series, there are some prerequisites. So you should know basic computer literacy. So, and you should know basic math skills. No, you don't know. So the math skills comprises of using functions like recursion, normal addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, factorial, and all. No, you don't need multivariate calculus or something like that. You need a computer to run Android Studio. Okay, so for running Android Studio, your setup should match some requirements. Number one, you should have at least 8 GB of RAM, which is preferable. But you can also run it on 4 GB RAM. I will show you how to. You need headphones. Like in each tag there are some videos which you have to which you can see to which by which they will show how do you proceed through the code lab. You need an internet connection to install Android Studio, to import third-party libraries in your app, and many more. And the last point you need is an Android device and USB cable. It's saying this is optional, but it isn't. For like 4 GB RAM laptops and 8 GB RAM laptops, using a emulator for emulating your apps is like suicide. So wait a minute, someone's joining again. So you need an Android device and USB cable. I will show you how to use your Android device to connect to your Android Studio and run apps on that at the end of this study jam. So what you will get in these seasons? Number one, you will make your first Android apps, which is the first app is a quite simple one. It's a birthday card app which comprises of 2 text views and an image view. You will learn how to set up Android Studio on a computer. Number 3, you will learn the basics of Kotlin programming language, which I will using the Kotlin playground. And number 4, I will provide you more resource to learn Kotlin and Android. Okay, so in the first track, which is the Android basics in Kotlin, there are 2 units. One is the Kotlin basic for Android, where you will learn how to write the first code for in Kotlin, and in the second one you will learn how to apply how to use layouts. Okay, so like using recycler views, like how to use linear layouts, constraint layouts, frame layouts. Okay, so in the first unit, that is Kotlin basics for Android, there are some paths. Okay, so you have to complete each path to earn some badges. So at the end of this whole study jam, there will be something like the Google developer profile, where there will be all the badges you have collected, and you have to share the screenshot of that profile to me, so I can see if you have completed the 2 tracks or not. So like I said, there will be a pathway. So in the pathway, there will be some videos, some code lab, and a quiz at the end of the pathway to understand how much you have learned during this unit. So you have like in the quiz you have to solve 75% of the questions right to pass the quiz. Okay. So and as you complete each unit, you will get badges. Like I think there are total of 15 badges for the 2 tracks. Okay, so there's a Google developer profile, like I said, where you can see all the badges, and there's a section for favorite badges. For some reason, this Google developer profile is private, not even public. I think this is because this whole thing is in beta phase. They will rectify this later. Okay, so any doubts for now? If anyone has any doubts, you can pop up in the chat section, like more info about the Google Solution Challenge and something else. So I think there are no responses from now. I think everyone understand everything. So I will just again present this thing. Okay, first I will show you what's like, wait a minute. Let me present again. So how you will proceed the whole track? Number one, you will first learn Kotlin to start writing Android apps. Okay, so why Kotlin instead of Java? Number one, so there are some upsides of using Kotlin instead of Java. Like if you are writing for a single task, like you are doing Firebase authentication to check in users if they have sign in or login, or if you are just using recyclables to show your info in a nice listed order. If you write the code in both Kotlin and Java, you will feel that the Kotlin code is quite less and quite less wordy. Okay, so Kotlin helps developer to be more productive. Number second thing, we will also run some Kotlin code in the browser using the Kotlin playground, and we will also see how like what's this whole mumbo jumbo about Android Studio is, like what's this drag and drop, what do you mean by the Gradle scripts, the manifest files and all. Okay, and if you can, you can emulate an Android device on your computer, but I will recommend if you don't have a high end setup, just use your own Android phone using a USB cable. And we'll also learn how to build a user interface. So what's the user interface? Interface or UI is the part of the app the user sees, and it must look quite good. Okay, so we will learn about layout. Like there are different type of layout in Android, like linear layout, by which you can adjust, like put your image views, text views, buttons in a linear manner, either vertical or horizontal. Okay, so there are different type of layouts. Okay, so and there's constraint layout by which you can put anything anywhere in the app like you feel it. So but in constraint layout you should like constrain the views there, like a button you should constrain like at the top of the image view or at the end of the screen. I will show you. And everything in Android is a view, like an image view, a text view, a recycler view, even a button is a view here. So here we see an example of what is like a text view is just a text. You can see it written hello Android, which is a text view. An image view is an image in any format like PNG, JPG, or even SVG, and a button is a button. So like a button can do a lot of things. Like if you click on a button, you can write some code so that it can open a camera. It can check for authentication. It can like store something on the database. So let's get started. So in the it's a study jam. So it's not like a webinar. In this whole thing, we will move through the pathways together, and I will show you how do if you have facing any problem, you can just ask me. I will let you know how you will proceed. So okay, I will stop the presentation for right now. I will share you with the link. So there is this link I have pasted in the chat section. Like you can if you are on laptop, you can just go there and collect your first badge. Did anybody click on it? So if you opened it, you will get a badge. You will get a badge of what's the badge, like the Android Study Jam badge. Okay, so did you get that?
Participant badge.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Sign in to save that. You have to sign in to save your progress when you complete the task. So sign in to store the badge. Like sign in with a Google profile. Oh, acha, I would like to convey something. So this whole thing is getting recorded. So for future references, if you want to see something or not, it will be on YouTube after I think tomorrow. So wait, I'm presenting my screen again. I will show you how to sign up. Okay, so if you go here, look, wait, I didn't get the badge. Okay, actually I'm signed up, so I'm not getting that. So like if you get the badge and if you have signed up, you can click here in this setting icon and you will see a Google developer profile. If you click on that, it will open a new tab and you have to again to sign in to view your private profile. So just click on that and sign in. So you can see that I have completed the first track of this series and I have a total of like 8 badges. So if you complete the whole track, you will get 8 badges and here is a profile. For right now, this is private. I think this is because it is beta, it is in beta stage for right now, but I think they will rectify that. So here is my profile and here is the badges I've collected till now for completing the first track. Did everyone sign in? Made their Google developer profile?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, any problem anyone till now or any questions you have to ask, you can ask. Okay. Yeah, let's move on next. So like I said, there will be different paths you have to do to complete one track. So you have collected your first batch and sign in to save your progress. So okay, I'm giving you the link again. So if you open that link, you will see I am again sharing the link. Just wait a minute. So if you go there, you can see the both tracks. Okay. So you will see that there is a new to programming track. So this is for people who haven't tried their hands on Android, but to get the certificate you have to complete the both tracks. So you should do that because it's in Kotlin. So we will start this just today, and this is the prior programming experience. So first you have to complete the Kotlin cones. So here they will show you how to use Kotlin like using array list, map sets, and different data structures. So and then you will start the course. In the second course is quite interesting. You will learn how to connect to the internet using Volley. You will learn how to fetch API and their info, and you will also learn how to use the Room database, and you will also learn how to use the Room database. And like the last app of the second track is a GDG finder. So like if you open the app, you can see the most local GDGs in your area. Like I think the closest one is GDG Kolkata. Okay. So anybody having any problems? So I think I will just start the presentation. So okay, so we will start with unit 1, pathway 1. Okay, so let's have a break for now and we will continue with the code labs. Well, okay, so what problem are you facing, Adityanti? And you can unmute yourself and say, or just write it in the chat box. Okay, I think there's no problem. Sorry, my bad. So I will stop presenting for right now. No, wait. Okay, just you can go to the new to programming tab and just click on start course. So there are 2 units here, like the Kotlin basics for Android, where you will just learn how to just how to write the first snippets in Kotlin. And number 2 is a layout section where you will use material design, recycler views, and all. That's for the next week. For this week, we will just focus on this Kotlin basis for Android. Okay, so I have completed these things, but for you, I will just do that again. Sure. So, like in each path, you can watch a video which they will where they will convey you what you will do in the code labs and the video representation of doing that. Okay, so this is the first track for anyone who joined just now. I am just again sharing the link, or you can just follow. You can just go there, sign in, and and just click on the new to programming track, and follow on. Okay, so you can see here that in this path you have some videos like welcome to Android Basics in Kotlin, but they will convey you like in every path there is first some video like where they will show you what the whole code lab is all about. Second is with the videos are optional. If you can just follow the code lab, there is no problem. So and you have to first do the code labs and take the quiz to earn a badge. So I will first show you how to use Kotlin. You can just go search Kotlin Playground and you can just try your hands on Kotlin here. There's some hands on here like how to like they will teach you like how to do what and that and examples too. So like this is the opening for the Kotlin Playground. So if I run this program, you can see that I get hello world, like it's the first program every programmer runs. So let's start. Like if you want to declare any variable in Android in Kotlin, basically you will write first var, then the variable name, colon, then the data type of the variable, like it's a string, and then you can assign it something like what's my name, like my name is. Okay, so people who are coming from Python background, I think this is win-win for you because there are no semicolons here. Okay, like in C++ or Java. And to print this whole thing, we'll just write print ln my name, and I think okay, so I think someone's just opened the mic. No problem. So if I run this program, it will just print out my name. Okay, so like there's something called var and val in Kotlin. Okay, so what's the difference? Like var name is okay. I will write this again. And if I just okay, I will reassign it something like I can just reassign it name equals like I will give this name like Ayush, and if I print it again, you can see you will see that it prints Ayush. Okay, so like if I declare a variable with var, I can reassign it, but if I just change it to val, it will give me error because a val can't be reassigned. Like the val is like the final in Java. Like if you declare it, you can't reassign it. It just remains the same. So we'll just use var. Okay, so it will work. Okay, now we'll just see some normal basic maths in Kotlin. So I will just first write some two variables var x, which is of type int, and I will give it like assign the value of 3. Sorry, no semicolon here. I'm sorry, I'm coming from actually C++ background. So the another variable here is var y 7. So if I print x plus y, it will give me 10, I guess. Okay, so you can do all like you can do my like multiplication here, like 2173. I can also use the mod value explain y. The mod value gives the remainder. like it will give 3 because 3 divided by 7 gives remainder 3. So we will now see how a function works in Kotlin. So I will write like every function in Kotlin starts with the keyword fun. So how to write a function like fun, return like fun add to nums. Okay. So okay, right, I will change the name right now. Function print name. Okay, so I will print something here. Okay, so to run this function, I should call this on in the main body. So I will just call it here. Like what's the name? So print name, and it will print. Okay, so that's how I need a parenthesis. Yeah, so it should work right now. So yeah, hello world. Like the function can take parameters to do jobs. Like I will show you. Like I will change the name here. Yes, so I will take two numbers and return the value of the by adding them. So like x is of int type and y is of int type. So I will print x plus y. This works fine. So no problem. So this is how we use function. Acha, I just changed the name here. I forgot to rectify that. Okay, let's run it. Yes, so I didn't pass any parameters, so I will just pass them 3 and 5, like they're int. So the output should be 8 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's working fine. So, but like if you want to return something, how will you will do that? So return x plus y. Let's see if it works or not. I will cast this somewhere like var answer, which is of again type int. So what's happening here? I'm passing 3 and 5, and I will add that and return the value of that, and it will just reassign to answer variable. I will run. Yeah, this won't work. Why? Because like in what you do in Java or C++, you like you first write the you first write the type of the function, like what type it will be returning. So you write int, then function name, like again add two numbers, Java or C++ only, and you just pass the two variables here and then do the job. But how you will do that in Kotlin? You just go here and pass the type as int. It will work right now. It works, but I forgot to print anything, so println answer. I think it's a work. Right. So this is how function work. So I will just comment it out for right now. Control plus. Yes. So I will show you how loops work here. So for I in 2 5. So what 2 dot 5 means 2 to 5. Okay. So it will, I think, print ln I guess it will print it. You can see 2 3 4 5 like, and if you want to make a jump, so you will write step 2. So it will give you 2 and 4 only. If you write 6, it will give you 2 4 6. Okay, so that's for the loops, and the last thing here is the range. So like, another thing I would like to show you, the last thing here, like you write like this: var names equals array of, like I will take some names here, like so for people who don't know what is an array is a data structure by which you can put variables, put information of same type together, so it can be easily iterable. So to print this, we will do like this: for name in names. This is again Python type syntax. If I'm not wrong. If anyone from a Python background can say that. Okay, so something problem happening here. So type variable t. Okay, sorry. Why it's not working? Array of okay. For some reason it isn't working. I will let me see what's happening. Only type argument except for class array type t, not enough for type variable t. Function invocation array of expected. So, but let me check. Oh, sorry. The parentheses are wrong. I'm really sorry for that. I think it should work now. Yeah, it's working. Like you can see, I have iterated to the array and print out its content, like apple, pears, mango, and coconut. So if anyone having problem, could you keep the codes and not retype it instant only? Okay, sorry. I will try. So this is all. This is actually all for Kotlin, the basics. Like if you like, it's the mixture of Java, C++, and Python. Yeah. So that's all for Kotlin. Now we will move to Android Studio. We'll move to the code lab first. Okay. So here you can see that you can watch a video here. Like let's play that with this video. Okay. So the sound isn't working because I'm in a mid. I will just ignore that for right now. It's optional. You can just ignore if you know how to do the code labs. Build your first, like this is again optional. Write your first program in Kotlin. We'll do this. So we'll just click on the take code lab button. So what they have asked me to open Kotlin Playground. So we have opened it already. Then we have to modify the program. Like we have to change the hello world to happy birthday. So we'll just change it. So I will just first say how a function in Kotlin is like you start with the fun keyword, then there is a main, like the main thing always happens first, the main function body, then you have parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis is all where the magic happens. So like I will just comment it out for right now. So I have to write println happy birthday. So yeah, so this works. So next we'll check the again. So we have to print three things. So like we'll just copy the code here, just these three things. You can always copy paste. There's no problem in that if you understand everything. So control, sorry, here. I will just print it, and you will see that happy birthday, Jhansi, you are 25. So like this, that's all for the first code lab. That's pretty easy. Done. And after that, you have to take a quiz to earn the first badge. We will just take the quiz. So the first question, like, can anyone just try this code lab for me? Like anyone can present their screen. So okay, so I'm so there are some questions like Anindya asked, like we have to define the data type. Yes, in Java you don't have to do that, but in Kotlin you have to specify the data type. Like how you will do that? You will just write var or val first. if you want the variable to be mutable or immutable. Secondly, you will write the variable name, then you will specify the data type, like I specify int and string. So okay, if and else statement, okay, we will see that too. Like okay, so one more thing. Like someone asked me in Discord that the about null pointer exceptions. Wait, I'm showing you that. We just been just out again. So like var x is a string. Okay, so we will print it. So what do you think? What will happen? Can anyone say? Can anyone say what will happen if I print something which I haven't assigned anything? So
Null, maybe.
okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so variable x must be initialized. You first should initialize a variable if you wish to do something about it. So I will just initialize it equals 100. So if I print it, give me 100. Okay, so one thing more, like in this what is null pointer exception? So a null pointer exception in Android is something when you try to do something on an object which is null, which hasn't any content. So like there are checks for Kotlin in that. Like if you want to, like if I where I will show you something. If I just do this equals null, it will give me an error. Like null cannot be a value of a non-null type string. So I will just make it a null type. If I add a question mark after the data type, it will make it a nullable variable. Like it's null. So how it will help you in solving null pointer exceptions? Like you will know beforehand, like what can be nullable and what can be nullable. So this helps a lot. So yeah, so like okay, so Devanjan Poddar asked about if statements. So I will just show it. So okay, I will do something fun here. Like if you want to check the type of a variable, so if like I will assign it something first, var equals 600 again. So if I just go here and write if x is string, like if x is of string type, we'll start the curly braces, print. Yeah, it's a string. Okay. Else print it's of a different data type. Let's see if it's work or not. Yeah, it's a string because yeah, it's a string. So that's the if else for you. Anything more? Like this is the basics for Kotlin. So that's all for Kotlin. I will move to Android Studio after some time. So can anyone just present their screen and do the first code lab? Anyone? Just anyone? Can anyone just? Present your screen, someone. Yes, so I think there's no one willing. So okay, I will just complete the quiz at first. So the first question is what is a program? So what do you think? What is the answer of that? Anyone see in the chat box? Yes, so what is a program? A program is like a series of instructions that a computer system executes to accomplish some action. No, the last option isn't right actually. A defined set of instructions that tells your computer to print happy birthday. No, this is the answer. Which keyword do you use to define a function in Kotlin? So like we discussed, the fun keyword is used to define any function in Kotlin. So we'll move to the third question now. Like which of the following do you need to create a Kotlin program that prints a line of text? So they ask the question like how to print a line of text in Kotlin. So do we need a comment describing what the program does? Bol. यार को
Hello, hello.
हाँ हिमाद्री बोल.
Yeah,
You can say.
अरे स्क्रीन शेयर करना, क्वेश्चन भी दिखाई देगा.
Oh, sorry. I haven't presented my screen now. I'm really sorry. You can mute yourself right now. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Okay. So, is my screen presentable now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just mute yourself, or there are some background noises coming here. There. So, wait. Like for the first question, what is the program? So the third one is the answer. For the second keyword, for the second question, like which keyword do you use to define a function in Kotlin? Use the fun keyword. And for the number 3 question, so like what do you need to create a Kotlin program? Just prints a line of text. Okay, just we need a main function first, because everything starts in the main function. We need a curly braces where you can do the thing, and we just need a call to print or print ln. So okay, so what's the difference between print and print ln? Okay, I will show you. Wait, I have to first open the Kotlin playground once again. Kotlin playground, and obviously I think, okay, wait, I will show you. Like if I do print like x, and again I will print x. Okay, so I will, if I run this, you can see they are conjoined, like there's no space in between. But if I use println, let's see what happens. Like it gives like after printing that, it moves to the next line. Okay, so that's the difference between println and print text. So we have to just print on just one line of text, so we'll just use print. Okay, so and we also need a piece of text surrounded by quotation mark, like here. Like here I didn't use, because like now let me show you. Like if I do here print hello world, so you can see that you also need some curly braces to print your statement or string. So this one is the thing too. So what do you expect this Kotlin code to? So what it will do? Can anyone just unmute yourself and say what this Kotlin code is supposed to do?
Would print 2 lines of text, I guess.
Print 2 lines.
Okay.
2 lines of text.
Yeah, let's try this. I will just take this one. Wait, just take the main body and just print it here. Like I can comment it down. Let's see if it works or not. Yeah, it prints 2 lines of code. So yeah.
Hello, Aryan.
Yeah, you can say.
In the last question you solved, that in the main function parameter, inside the parameter list, it's written args array strings. Can you explain that?
Okay, it depends on the function. Like wait, I will show you that. Like what you can do here, like if you're passing some strings somehow, like you can just write it. There's nothing problem. Like if I write that array, wait, what's the array? Let's first see. Like if I just take this and just copy paste here, there, like the whole thing is now missing, but won't face a problem. I will just share the code. I will just write the whole thing here, and I will just share the link so everyone can see what I did in the Kotlin playground. And if I just run it, it should work fine. Expecting a top level declaration. Okay. So I have to print this out too. Let's see if this one call. No. Okay, this one too. So I think it will run. Like okay, this works. This thing is also I like. You can also pass something to the main function body. Okay, if you pass something to the main function body, you can do something with it. For now, it's of no use, so you can just ignore. So the next question: how would you modify this main function body so that it prints a 6-layer cake for someone's 4th birthday? Okay, so this is a challenge. So we need a 6-layer cake. So the layer here is 5. We'll just change it to 6. So and the age is 24, and the question asks for the 4th birthday. So we'll just change it to 4, and we'll just do that like here. Set var age to 6, yes, because it's an int type, and set var layer to 4 because this is also int type. So this will be the answer. Okay, and the last question here. Okay, so the last option, the last question of this whole unit is like function create. There's a function we have to say what this will do. Like this is a function fun create message. It contains 3 parameters: a name, a location, and an age. So and it will print that. Oh, acha, I didn't talk about the template string, template literal. Wait, I will just copy this and show you. Right. Okay, so I write the function here. So what's this this whole thing? They like this thing. Like you can like you can just go right. Like if you want to print a variable inside your the double inverted commas, what you will do? You will just write a dollar symbol and give a parenthesis, and here you can just name your variable. Okay, so it will just print without any problem. So like this create message thing takes 3 parameters, so we will just pass them. Yeah, we just comment this again out. So okay, and this is create message. So the first argument is of a string type, so we'll just pass a string like India. The second one is a string too, so Kolkata, and the third one is an age. So this is of int type, so we just pass a number. And if we run this, you can see my name is India. Oh, sorry, my name is India. I'm from Kolkata and I'm 24 years old. So now moving back to the question. So we have to first pass 2 strings and an integer. So only this one is matching for the answer. So this one will be the answer. So you can just
I think fifth
will-
question's answer should be 3.
so,
Aryan.
yeah.
Yes,
Second-
yes. The age is
Hello. Can someone just say what's the thing?
Fifth question का answer 3 होगा.
Wait. Acha. Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Sorry. Thanks for correcting me. So I think for the 6th, this one will be the answer. So let's just submit answers. So for some reason I got 100 out of 100. So I never got this before. So yeah, this is how you complete the first unit. So we'll just return to the pathway. So yeah, we have completed this all. I haven't watched the video, so I'm getting around 60% complete, but this is optional. You got the batch. If you complete this, you will just got the batch. Can just anyone just present their screen and do the first code lab? Anyone? I'm just stopping my presentation for right now. Can anyone just present their screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, just present your screen. Just open the this thing like where I am sharing the links again. Wait, sorry. Okay. So go to the introduction in Kotlin thing. Okay, just go to the new to programming track. The Kotlin basics for Android. So the first one, that is the introduction to Kotlin. So did you completed the first path? Okay, you haven't. So like
Which one?
yeah, you can see your screen. So you can just ignore the videos for right now. You don't have to do that. They are optional.
What did you say once more?
Like you can just skip the videos. Just do the code labs.
Okay. This was the quiz, no?
And then before the quiz, there are code labs like which I'm showing you. Like the third number, the third number is the write your
Okay,
first
this one.
programming Kotlin. Yeah. Okay. Take code lab. And just, you can if we have already done this, you can just click on each of this icon and it will just finish that for you.
Okay, next.
Yeah, because we've already done that, we can just skip it. Okay, done.
This was fun.
Okay, okay, then you can, we have done the create a birthday message in Kotlin. You can just skip that again.
Yeah,
You can
we
just
did
skip,
this.
we can just skip that again. Okay, now the quiz part. Okay,
Oops.
okay. Okay, you have done this. So I think you have got the badge. You can just click on the settings icon on the upper right
Okay.
and
This
go to
one.
whatever. Yeah, right. You can see your badges there. Just sign in once. Okay, yeah,
This
you
one,
have.
no?
Yeah, you have. No, this one, the second one.
Okay,
The second one and the fourth one. These are for the first code lab completed. Yeah, you've just completed the
Yeah.
first. Okay, so thank you, everything. You can stop presentation so I can continue further.
Thank you, Arun.
Okay, so we'll just continue with the presentation for right now. So where we are right now. Okay, we have completed the first track. We will now do the second and third pathway. I will just present the screen. Okay, so in the second pathway, we will learn how to install and start our Android Studio. Okay, so we will just go and do that. So is my screen presentable? Yeah, can everyone see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So the next pathway. The second is the Android Basics Creator First Android app, where you will we will like not do lot, just install Android Studio and run your first Android app on your phone. So if you happen to install Android Studio, I will just show a quick demo of how to do that. First, go here, search for Java JDK. You will just click on this download button. This will download the Java JDK for you. Just install that and then go to your environment variable. Environment variables. Go to your path. Edit. No, not this one. Java home. So you will just go to your path where you have installed the Java. Just copy this whole thing and just print here and click OK and OK. So you can use Java everywhere without without opening the directory where it's installed. Okay, so that's how we install Android Studio. So and then you have to install Android Studio by going to Android Studio, Windows. I will share a
Hello?
video later. Yeah, you can.
Aryan,
Say
can you
that.
please repeat the last portion once more?
Okay, yeah. Okay, if you are like, I will again show you, but I will share a video later, which you can just follow the things and install Android Studio. So you will first search for environment variables. We'll just click here, and if you don't have a path like Java Home, you will just go new, add Java Home here, like in all caps, Java Home. You will paste the Java value here. Like I will just browse the directory, go to this PC, C, like where it is.
C then Java.
What? Wait. Wait a minute.
C program
Like
file Java.
okay. C program files. Java. I will click. I will just click on. But just take this. Like I will click here, like this one. It's okay, and it will just paste here. And if I just click on OK, it will just paste set the path variable for Java for every other app in your setup, like for VS Code or Android Studio or IntelliJ if you have that. I will just close it for right now. I will send you a video, don't worry. So that's all for this. So create and run your first Android app, and okay, so this is the main thing. I will just close this thing. Can everyone see my desktop?
Yes.
Okay, I will just close these things for right now. Kotlin Playground. I will just open my Android Studio. So if you have any problem till now, you can just unmute yourself and just say it. Any problem, be it installation or about the study jam things, the Google Solution Challenge, just ask it out. This is not a webinar. This is a study jam. Like we are just teammates working together. So you can just ask. So like Android Studio is installed. Okay, no, wait. So no questions from right now. So I will just present my screen once again. Okay, so this is the Android. When you open Android Studio, I have actually made a lot of apps. So you will see here the recent apps I've opened. So you will click to create new project. Give it a name, like select the empty activity for right now because you're just starting. Okay, I will just name it Study Jams Android app. Not a very fancy name. I will just select the. You can just select the the language here. I selected Kotlin. So I will just finish. So this is the
You clicked on new project, then no template. Which was the
empty
option?
activity. Empty activity. Click on
Okay,
empty
empty
activity.
activity.
Okay, now you will click on that. So it will take some time to make some default template for you. Like this is the main activity kitty, where like this is the starting point of your Android apps, and this is the activity main.xml, which is the layout file. It will take some time to Gradle build. I will just wait for that. Okay, so like it will take a time because we are just using this for the first time, this app. So let me talk about why you should be using Kotlin instead of Java. Okay, so there are three things. Number one, there are pros and cons for using Kotlin over Java. Not everything is perfect. So like I talked about the less wordy thing, the null pointer exception thing, and around 2016, Google launched Kotlin as the secondary language for Android, and around May 2017, I guess they make it the official language for Android. Like if you get any update for Android, it will first work for Kotlin and then maybe Java. Yeah, maybe is the keyword. So when I was starting with Android back in March, I was confused which one to choose, like Kotlin or Java. I first started with Kotlin. I will be very frank here. I first started with Kotlin, but there was no or very less like resources to learn from. Like there was no code labs. Like most of the apps, basically a starting app, like weather app or a to do app or a quiz app or a calculator was most of the videos were in Java. So I was facing a lot of problems. So I moved on to Java. I coded for Java for 6 months, and 2 months ago I shifted to Kotlin because at the end of the day, Java and Kotlin share the same concept. Just the syntax is little different. So it's taking a lot of time. I don't know why. Okay, I know why it's taking a lot of time. I will just start it and it will work fine. for some reason when I use my laptop hotspot, the Gradle doesn't build. Well, this is my problem. You won't face that. I will just invalidate and restart. So I have to restart the whole thing to work. It will open. Yes, so it opened. The Android Studio is a very RAM hungry IDE. Like it takes a lot of RAM. If you have like 16 GB of RAM, it will work perfect on a setup. But for 8 GB or 4 GB RAM like systems, it's slow a little. So when you are using Android Studio, don't open much Chrome tabs. Like 1 or 2 will suffice, but not more than that. So we'll just load and again Gradle build. Yeah. So okay, I will just move that on later. So what you will do here, you will just you will just open your first Android Studio and connect your phone by USB, which I will show you, and then run your app on a mobile device. Okay, like what you will do is like when you open your when this Gradle build thing will finish, just connect your Android phone via USB cable. You can see there's a like a play button here. When you click that, you will this will install your app on your phone. Just you have to just give a permission once from your phone, and it will install. So when you install it, you can take the quiz. The quiz is the okay. Wait, take the quiz. Let me refresh. Okay, the Gradle build has finished. Okay, so you can see that like when we open any app, there will be two things. First, a main activity.kt and then first layout file. So you can see that there are three things here: a code, a split, and design. What is this split thing? Like it's again loading. So that for later. So like you can see that there's a lot of mumbo jumbo here. So I will show you everything. Like this is the Android manifest file. So what's this? You can like you are making a weather app. So a weather app needs two things. Number one is an internet connection, and number two is a location. So you can just write the permission here, and it will. Yes, someone just join again. So I'm presenting my Android Studio here. So like in the Android manifest file, you can just write like what permission you want, like for the internet, for the location, and all. So right, wait a minute. Like I can do like this. Users permission. And I will write the permission name, that is internet, and I will just end it, and it will, and when I run the app, it will ask for internet permission first, and if I just ignore it, the app won't work. I will just there are a lot of mumbo jumbo here, which is not important for right now. The next important thing of any Android Studio is the build Gradle file. So like if you are coming from an web background, you will know about Bootstrap, Tailwind CSS, Skeleton CSS, and a lot of like material design theme. Like if you want to use that in your app, what you will do, you will just paste the CDN here, and it will when the website load, it will just use the components from there. So like everything is not provided by Android Studio in default. Like you have to use like if you want to use Volley, Volley is a third-party library. Like if I use Volley here, it won't work. I'll just show you. Like Volley, like there's no autocomplete for here. But if I just just write the dependency for the Volley thing. It will work here. Like Volley is is a third party library by which we can like take data from an API. Volley is a part of the second track which will complete like in December. So okay, I will just run this thing in my phone. So there is this app called Visor by which you can connect your you can show your app on a screen. So I'll just open that. Like you can see, like here is my phone, Redmi Note 5. I will just install it. Like there's nothing here, just nothing. Like if I click the design tab, you can just see a blank layout with a text view, which is just hello world. I will just done it. So then it will install it on my phone. I will just showcase my phone here. I'm again saying if you have a 4 GB or 8 GB RAM laptop, you can try emulator, but your system will lag a lot. So just use your just physical phone and an USB cable. So this is my screen. So the Gradle build is running. So it will take some time. The Gradle build is finished. Like when you run the app, you get a permission. Like you have to give install permissions here. So this will install the app on my phone. So yeah, this is the first app we have made, which is the Hello World app. So I will just close it for some time. Like then we will just do the second piece quick. So here is this thing. What does IDE stands for? Like IDE, we know IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. I will just click it here. What are the following advantages of Android using Android Studio? So okay, here the advantage, it can help prevent typos and other mistakes in your code. This is right because there is something auto completion here. Like if I go here and write not here. So like I will just show you in the Android manifest file. Like I don't have to write everything. I will just write users permission. Like it just auto completes that for me. So this lowers the risk of having mistakes. It comes with a virtual device called an emulator that can run your app. Yeah, it also has an emulator. You can just select from here. Just click the drop down menu. Like I have one emulator here, Pixel 3 XL. Okay, if I just run it, it will open a virtual device here, and I can just time my app here. So I will not do that because I don't have a very high-end PC. You can do that, no problem. It can show you a real-time preview of how your app will look on screen while you code. Yeah, it does also does that. Like this is the activity file. Like you can see that there is a blank layout and just only a hello world here. And our app, like if you see our app, this is like the same. So you have a real-time preview. So and the last thing, it can automatically translate your app into other language. No, this doesn't. It isn't magic. So next thing, what does minimum SDK refer to? Yeah, so there is something called the minimum SDK. Like you go here, the build reader, you can see. Wait, I'll show you. Like the compiles SDK version, the minimum SDK version. Like Android is a 10 years old thing. Like so, it has come to a lot of development. So the API level increases with time. Version increases with time. So like if I have the minimum SDK version 16, so my app will be supported in a lot of apps from like 2014-15. But if I if I do something like that, like minimum SDK version 26, it may not work on a lot of apps which are using hamburgers and ice cream 100%. So I will just leave it there. So this is the minimum number of minimum version of Android that your app can run on. What is the purpose of using a virtual device or emulator in Android Studio? Yeah, to test your app on a device without having the physical device. Yeah, this is the answer. In Android Studio, what is a project template good for? So if you, like I have shown you already, like you get a template here, like you can see the code already, some code is given here, and in the main activity file there's some code given here. So it has some purposes, like it causes Android Studio to download files faster. Nope, doesn't. It makes getting started and building a new app faster. Yeah, because you already get some template. Number three, it provides a structure that follow best practices, right? You get a lot of inbuilt files like the Android manifest files where you can just put your like permissions and like Android like a lot of things, build GitHub files. Okay, it's the only way to build app that can preview to Android Studio, right? You can Android Studio is the only ID where you can preview your apps before like installing it. It makes building a new app less error prone by pre-populating a project with some app code. Yeah, this is right. You can check this out. How do you create a new project in Android Studio? So what you will do, you log out of Android Studio, navigate to project folder to find instructions. Nope. If you have a project already open, click on select file new project from Android Studio menu. Yeah, this will suffice. In the okay. So in the welcome to Android Studio window, click start a new Android project. Create a new file on your computer and type a new Android Studio project. No, this is wrong and this is wrong. So both B and C are correct. So I will just click on this option and just submit the answers. Let's see what happens. So yeah, I have 5 out of 6 answers correct. So yeah, we have completed the second unit too. Yes, so please complete the second second unit. Just written on the final pathway of today's code jam. You just go again, right? G.co and study jams. The last thing of this year, I will just wrap it soon because it's it will be going 9 already. Oh, sorry, around minute. Okay, so we will build a in this path. We will learn how to build a birthday card app. So, like if you go there, like I will just click on the first code lab. Like it will show you like you first have to name the app Happy Birthday. Then you have to select the Kotlin. Like then you have to select the minimum SDK version. So this is the app. Like you can see, like our this and that app are nearly the same. Wait, I just open my phone. Yeah, you can see that both are the same as of now. Like we have to add a text view here, so I will show you how to add some text views. So I will just go here, like in the activity main.xml file. I will go to design. I will just delete the hello world one, like with the delete button. I will just drag and drop things here. So the best part about Android Studio is using Android Studio that you can just drag and drop items, which makes making the layout a lot faster. I will just put it here. So you can see in the code that is a constraint layout. So you have to first constrain the things here and there. I will just put this here for right now and constrain it here. Like if you press the plus icon, it will constrain the thing with respect to everything, and there will be no error. So we have to again use another text view here. Okay, so I will again constrain it. So there are two text views here. So yeah, so this is how we have to then change the writings here. So you can just go, yeah, like you can see the text here. Like you can go search text of this text here. I will just change it to Happy Birthday Sam. And here I will again let me click here, change to from just like this. Because like you can see that that changes as soon as we change the code. Where's is joining? You are a lot late actually. So, and if I just click this icon, this it will just rebuild the app for me with the changes. I will let me see. Let us see what will be the changes in the app. It will take some time. So you can try out this code lab with like you can try out the code lab. It's quite easy, I have to say. Like it's the building block for making Android apps. So you can change the text size here. You can even change the type, like it's bold or italic, or you can use another font too. So yeah, we can also change the font family. You can change the font style. You can change the text color. So yeah, for the Gradle build is finished. It's installing. Oh, we have to reinstall that again. So it is installing, and you can see that, and we'll have some changes. You can see happy birthday Sam here, and from I have just actually make some mistakes here, so it's sliding out of the text layout. So just I will correct that. You can correct that, no problem. So I think that's it for this code lab. Okay, done. In the next code lab, we have to just add an image, just a simple image. Just will take 1 minute. So we already have the app set up. I haven't changed the styles. You can do it by just following the code lab. So we are running out of time. To be truly honest. So we will go here and just use the image view. I will just drag it here in the middle, and I can just select any image. For right now, I will just use the avatar image, which is given. Yes, so I will just keep it in the middle. Just constrain it everywhere, like constrain it up here, here, and here. So yeah, I think this will work right now. So I will just like stop that and then rebuild it again. I think this should suffice. Yes, the build is still running. Okay, if you are just thinking why the Gradle build is slow, because I have opened 3 or 4 Chrome tabs, so it's slow. If you don't use Chrome, it will be a lot faster. You can check the build details here. Clicking on, if you click on the build button, yeah, it's building. There's no problem at all till now. Yeah, the graded build is now nearly finished. So we will see the changes now soon. Yeah, I just open my phone once again. Okay, so a little bit for right now. We will just complete the code lab. So there are some good coding practices here, like how to have extracting string resources and all. You can just check it there. Okay, for if you are facing any problem with the code, you can just click on solution code and can download the code from like the GitHub. If you know GitHub, it's okay, it's quite good. You can just go to this URL where it will open the GitHub link for the project we are doing, and you can just download it. So yeah, here they have shown you can do that. So summary, learn more, and practice and all. Yeah, that's all. That's all for this code lab. So yes, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something's not responding. So okay, so I think I am having some problem here right now, so I will just skip this whole part. So just let's complete the code lab for now and can just wrap up this. having some problem with my, just I will ignore that. I will just complete this whole thing and wrap up. So I have just so I will just dismiss this, and there is a quiz here which is quite easy. I will just take the quiz. And can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry, my actually I will not lie here. My system crashed because of using like 3 or 4 Chrome tabs in Android Studio. So actually, I shouldn't say it here, but I use Firefox when I'm using Android Studio. Which of the following, like in this quiz, which of the following element is considered a view in an Android app? A simple says I will just say a simple thing. Everything is an view in Android. So an image, a clickable button, even a text is view. So all of the above. In the second question, what is the main purpose of a view group? A view group just just pack all the view together. So what the answer will be the second one. The view group is quite important when we learn about recycler view in the I think the third studying jam. The type of view group that help you arrange the views inside of is called a, okay, I don't know the you can just do the quizzes here. It's quite easy. Just open one Android Studio once. We'll get all of the answers here. Which of the following are attributes in Android? So the text size, text color, and the text content are the attributes. In Android, a graphic that can be drawn to a screen already is referred as a vector drawable. Like I have the answer here. Which of the following is an example of a constraint that can be applied to a view in a constraint layout? Like a view that must always be a minimum distance away from the edge of this container, yes. A view that must always be the right of another view, doesn't matter. A view that must always be the top, just this will be the answer. Okay. The next question, what is the purpose of the activity main XML file? So it provides the theme settings for your app. It lets your app users create their own custom views. It stores all the image, or it describes the layout. It just describes the layouts for all the view groups and views. Why should you use string resource instead of hard-coded strings in app? Okay, I just skipped this part. So like you can use string resources instead of hard-coded strings. Like you can just define the string once, and you can just use the string name instead of the string. So there are things, it makes your app easier to translate. Yeah. Shall I use longer string in your app? Nope. Special color? Nope. Nope. This I think this all are the answers. The view that is called I think constraint layout. Yeah. I'll just submit it. Okay, I scored 5 out of 8, which is wrong. I have to at least like answer 6 of them correctly. So I failed for now. So I'll just leave it. You can just do that. So it's already getting late. I will just wrap up this whole session. So
hello, Aryan. Can you present your screen?
Okay, Amit, I didn't present. Oh shit, I'm really bad.
I thought your laptop is not okay.
No. Oh shit, my bad. I will just wait once. Just wait a minute. Yeah. You can see it right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in the birthday card app, it's quite self-explanatory. What you will do, they have just explained it in a quite vibrant manner. You will just take the quiz at the end of this thing. You will just answer this, like all of the above will be the answer here. Like it puts the like this. Text will be the attribute. Text size, text color, text content. Okay, it is a vector. Think. Okay. Okay, I think this should work. Okay, I did a lot of them wrong. I'm really sorry. I will just skip this part. You can just check it and solve it by your way. If you have any problem, you can just I will just skip to the slides. So if you liked it, you can just take a screenshot of this whole thing and just share it on the social medias using the hashtag #StudyJam, and don't forget to tag DSC-KGC. So if you need any help, I will be there anytime. Me and my team. Just join the DSC-KGC Discord channel. There's an Android Study Jam sub channel there. You can ask your doubts. We can have discussion. You can show your badges there. So yeah, that's all. And in the next week, we will learn about classes and objects, and we will build this dice roller app where you can just click on the rolling button and it will just roll your dice and show a different dice like 6, 5, 4, and that's all. So I will just close this session here now, and I will just stop the recording. I will just stop the recording. Okay, so that's all for today, folks. I hope you liked this. I think at the end it all became a little bit messy after my system just crashed. So I think that's all for today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any doubts, anyone? Just the last thing, like installation problems, anything, like suggestions or anything. The recording off now. You can ask anything. Unmute yourself if you want.
No, it was good.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.